Direct News TV. May 27, 2024. Israel's war on Gaza. Live news: people burned alive in attack on Rafah. Israeli forces have bombed a tent camp housing displaced people in a designated safe zone in Rafah, killing 45 Palestinians, most of them women and children. The attack has triggered an international outcry, leading to calls for a ceasefire. The attack on the camp in Tal as-Sultan came after Israeli forces bombed shelters housing displaced Palestinians in other areas including Jabalia, Nuseirat, and Gaza City, killing at least 160 others, according to Palestinian officials. Turkey will do everything possible to hold Israel to account over Rafah strikes, Erdogan. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has said his country would do everything possible to hold barbaric Netanyahu to account over deadly strikes in Rafah. We will do everything possible to hold these barbarians and murderers accountable who have nothing to do with humanity, Erdogan said. South Africa universities face Israel scanner as government backs Palestine. On May 13, 10 tents were pitched on the pristine lawns of the University of the Witwatersrand, Wits University, in Johannesburg. It was a pro-Palestine encampment that became known as the Liberated Zone. Students, many wearing keffiyehs, took to the lawns next to the main library, typically used as a space to relax and eat, as the demarcated area for their act of protest and solidarity. Their demands: a ceasefire in Gaza and the divestment from Israel-linked companies. Stop this now, Netanyahu, Piers Morgan slams Rafah camp attack. British broadcaster Piers Morgan has slammed Netanyahu for the attack on the camp for the displaced people in Rafah. The scenes from Rafah during the night are horrific. I defended Israel's right to defend itself after the events of October 7, but to slaughter so many innocent people trembling in a refugee camp is indefensible, so stop this now, Netanyahu, Morgan said on X, tagging the Israeli Prime Minister. Rafah casualties rises to 45, as Gaza death toll pushes above 36,000. The health ministry in Gaza says 45 people have been killed in the Israeli attack on the displaced in Rafah, including 23 women, children, and elderly, with 249 wounded. The ministry added that at least 36,050 Palestinians have been killed since the start of the war and 81,026 have been injured. Heinous massacre: Israel's attack on Rafah tent camp widely condemned. Several countries and global organizations have condemned the Israeli air attack on tents housing displaced people in Gaza's southernmost city of Rafah that killed at least 40 Palestinians, including many children. The Palestinian presidency on Monday accused Israel of deliberately targeting civilians, joining a chorus of worldwide condemnation following the attack. In a statement on X, the United Nations Palestinian Refugee Agency, UNRWA, said the images from Rafah are yet another testament that Gaza is hell on earth. Genocide must end after Rafah massacre, Jewish Voice for Peace. The US-based Jewish advocacy group says attention must now be directed towards the overnight massacre committed in Rafah by the Israeli military. We will never forget the images emerging from Rafah tonight. Human beings, including babies, were burned alive and torn apart. This genocide must end, it must end now, Jewish Voice for Peace said in a statement. We hold the US government, in addition to the Israeli government, responsible for the slaughter of over 36,000 Palestinians, for the siege and starvation of Palestinians in Gaza, and for mass destruction of infrastructure and land. We demand an end to all US funding to the Israeli military now. People of conscience throughout the world are calling for an end to genocide. Palestinian medics evacuate casualties after Israeli attack on Nuseirat. The Palestinian Red Crescent Society, PRCS, showed in a post on X how its first responders transported the body of a woman who was killed in an overnight Israeli airstrike on the Nuseirat refugee camp in central Gaza. 2 others were also transported by the medics, it added. My name is Kingsley. Please like, share, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be the first to be notified whenever we post. You won't regret it.